Fucking cunt.
Right, sorry.
Welcome to episode 46 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. Special episode, we're going to be looking at Double or Nothing plus some other extras today. But introducing yourself first is Dan, or Dandon Cutler for One Night Only, at the request of Lucy. Self-proclaimed connoisseur of real lucha libre, and a guy who'd rather take a tope suicida than sit through NXT Europe, another Triple H vanity project. Because let's be honest, it's not a wrestling brand, it's a cult, let's be honest.
Okay, shall I go next then? Since I got a shout out. Yes, I am Lucy. Hello. I am currently feeling very ashamed of my hair because bald is cool now. So I am repping the Bald King, Brandon Cutler, as always.
I'm trying to see Lucy's face. I'm wrestling Mark. I can't see Lucy's face because there's an issue covering her screen on here. I'm very excited about this weekend. Double or Nothing. It's best card they've done for a good few years for this one. I can't fucking wait for it. Very excited. Get a kiss for us.
I'm Andy, and I think 6-1 on Hangman and all the bookmakers is free money. It really is. Do it. And also, money, and Jamie Hayter at I think she was 2.75 or something. Yeah, that's fucking free money as well. Go for it.
After a couple weeks off, I am back. I am that bald bro. And listen, there's only two right choices to make this weekend. Sorry, Lucy. What's an assassin to a cowboy? There's no debate. There's only one true hero that AEW needs.
Especially in the desert. Especially in the desert.
Yeah, come on.
Where the fuck is assassin going to hide in the desert?
There's no hay barrel. There's no haystacks
out of the sand and surprise someone. You're fucked. No chance.
Not with that fucking.
If you do that, you'll die. So yeah. This is Hangman's all the way. Paddy Power. 5-6. Was it? I got a 5 to 1. I put £20 on a 5 to 1.
Yeah, it was 5 to 1. 6 fractionals. It was. I went with Sky Bet for reasons. But yeah,
I can never find wrestling on Sky Bet.
Yeah, I just searched for AEW on there, to be honest.
If we have to make a sexy calendar to pay for this fucking podcast because you've spent the money, you've Haymaned the money away betting on Hangman.
The last time I did this at university, no one had any money. And my part-time job, the boss there was a dodgy fucker, and he guaranteed everyone this horse was going to come in at 3 to 1. So I lumped my last £100 on it, and it finished about 12. And everyone that I knew, put everything. I'm like, it's like 6 weeks till the student loan. I'm like, fuck it. Trust me, this is free money. I trust this guy in my life. The horse was rubbish. And everyone lost every penny. I ran back to London and thought I'd miss the last few weeks here because people are going to beat me up. But yeah. Never forget him. Russell Clark, fuck you.
Remember, but didn't learn.
Just
Tony Khan.
We don't endorse. All we endorse here at the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast is to gamble responsibly, but drink unresponsibly and have fun doing it. That's my takeaway.
If there's young people listening to this, you're a terrible role model. Don't drink, don't gamble, don't do anything else because.
I said drink, but don't gamble. I said drink, but don't gamble. So I'm half right.
We've digressed. Anyway, we've got a lot to get through.
Only
we are
baby
recording
face on
this
this
at an
fucking
obscenely late
podcast.
hour.
No comment. Tony Khan, while he's talking about horses, you know who rides a horse? And he's going to be riding away from All In with a fucking world title. Do it.
So before we get into Double or Nothing and Dynamite, shall we touch on the other few subjects that have come up the last few days? I think it would be remiss of us as a wrestling podcast. I know we tend to venture to doing everything barring WWE because they're covered well enough all around the globe by everyone else. But should we start with NXT Europe? Because I don't think anyone on here doesn't see the writing on the wall with this.
I mean, I thought we were going to talk about wrestling. I didn't realise we were going to talk about cults. But anyway, on the surface, it sounds... in all seriousness, it does sound like, an opportunity for a lot of European talent to get paid. And obviously I want them to get paid and I want them to earn a lot of money. But scratch beneath the surface and it feels just eerily reminiscent of something that we know has been a catastrophe. Didn't end well for the indie scene here with NXT UK. And it's going to end up exactly the same because we know what they're like. We know
you say get paid. But they were getting a fucking apprentice wage in NXT UK. It was a piss take.
Bolster it elsewhere.
Yeah. So like, and you know they will do that. With obviously there'll be some promotions they're allowed to work for, but if you're not one of the promotions that's down on your knees polishing Triple H's boots whenever he turns up within a fucking couple of miles of you, then get a fuck. So I would imagine the likes of Rev Pro will probably not be able to use any of the talent.
No, not when they're so closely allied with AEW right now.
Yeah, Progress seem to have a bit of a partner, like a working relationship with them, so they'll probably get a lot of talent.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fucking shit. And especially with the
let's not beat around the bush. The mentality of WWE here, when this is in place, will be to affect AEW's partners as much as possible, because this is the root of it. They don't like competition. When they didn't even have fucking competition in 2016, they decided to wipe out Europe just because people were starting to enjoy local wrestling promotions again. So we're now in a situation where that's what they're going to do. They see AEW. They know AEW are an element of a threat, not in terms of they're going to be bigger than them. They're taking away what they perceive to be some of their money, because they are getting money from a lot of sources now. So then they're going to look at that and think, right, if we help Progress, that could fuck over Rev Pro. If we help AAA, that can fuck over CMLL. They're going to do the same in Japan. It's an obvious tactic what they're doing. It's monopoly capitalism again. It couldn't be more transparent. Anyone that doesn't see that, you're either lying to yourself or you're a fucking idiot. Because it's exactly this.
It's exactly the same thing that the UFC did. It's exactly the same thing that the UFC did, and they'll just blacklist wrestlers who, from their kind of, partners, essentially, who don't kind of show interest and want to, go and do the grind or whatever the fuck they're going to call it this time. It's a fucking joke. They don't give a fuck.
There's something very different this time. Last time when they took it down at the height of the boom, there was no one to step in. Until right near the end when AEW did step in and help out a few shows. This time there is an alternative. We have seen wrestlers now turn around and go, fuck no, I wouldn't go to WWE, I'm not interested. No, you can stick your tryout. No. There is the option, and there is the money there that say these partners are affected. Tony Khan can throw money at anyone he fancies. I don't know if it's going to be as bad.
He's just got to keep the partners sweet.
A lot of people as well, that we encounter, they love WWE because it's what they've grown up with. It's kind of
that's fair enough.
There's this utopian idea that it's like the be all and end all, and that's why this ID program is pitched as like a developmental pathway for indie wrestlers, while it offers like exposure. There's concern about WWE's increasing control over the indies promotions, like creative, and that's fucked me. Like the reports suggesting that they're providing like scripts to indie promoters for matches involving ID talent, stifling the organic kind of storytelling that makes indie wrestling special. It's just fucked. That's not what indie wrestling's all about.
At the end of the day, the main reason, as we know, as Mark points out, is they feel like AEW existing takes money away from them. But as you can see, it's the same as the UFC thing. They don't want to pay their talent the wages they deserve. So if AEW are offering more money, they have to then. I mean, I guarantee you they would not want it to have gone anywhere near what they've paid Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, all these guys who've recently re-signed. They would have been fucking going ballistic that they've had to pay them money that they deserve as the top talents that they are. It's just fucking insane. And AEW existing makes them do that, because these guys can go, well, okay, well, I could go and test the waters over there, as is what apparently is happening with Mariah May, possibly testing the waters with WWE, seeing what the best deal is she can get.
If they've got paid for her.
They should do this. They should be doing this. These guys put the fucking bodies through the mill. Insane kind of
traveling, the physical toll, the likeliness of having chronic back pain when you're a lot older. Your knees are going to go. You have no ligaments left. You spend your entire life traveling. You've probably sacrificed having a family at all or till later. They should be paid fucking obscene money.
Yeah. And they're fucking TV stars. They're essentially fucking movie stars. They essentially do what stuntmen do in real time. And yet they're actually the main. Yeah, yet they're the main star, and not like So it's just insane. They don't get paid.
Stunts, yeah.
And when I know it's been increased recently, but when you see the money they were getting, kind of 5-10 years ago, it was crazy. It was absolutely insane when you'd see what some guys, regulars on TV, were getting compared to other industries. It's nuts.
Independent contractors.
Yeah,
I've got to ask Brett,
anything
what's
to
the
avoid
like
paying.
from somebody who isn't in the UK indie scene? What do you think of NXT Europe?
I mean, like I said, as American from the outside looking in, it just looks like a carbon copy, like redo of the NXT UK deal once again. And, that's actually what I wanted to like gauge your guys' interest in where your headspace with the whole NXT Europe thing is again, like because I remember what it started 2017, 2018, the whole UK deal, and it took the indie scene over there like 5-6 years to get back up on its feet. Like in 2023, I want to say, like even we say back on its feet, like is it today? Is it anywhere close to what it was before NXT?
It used to be like they could
UK?
sell out like.
So to answer your question, like I mean, I go to a lot of Progress shows now, obviously, with the pod because I mean I like Progress. I think it's a good indie promotion. But back in the pre NXT UK days, the tickets would go on sale and they would go out on off sale within an hour, like a minute. They'd sell out like completely, like super quickly. It's the same with Rev Pro. You'd have to be really like quick and on the ball. So to answer your question, I don't think it's at the level where it was. It's getting there. It's sort of like if it carries on the way it's going, it will be at that same level in about maybe 6 months to a year. But the problem is that they've swept in when this opportunity when the scene's kind of starting to reestablish itself again. And what is it going to do? It's just already got that like whole performance center sort of stink around it, where they pluck the most exciting people out of the scene and feed them through like their really sort of paint by numbers beige system, if you like.
I look at it like this, like from looking the outside, in as far as not just with the whole NXT Europe deal, but even with the ID program here in the States, like as far as it's not enough for WWE, in my opinion, just to be the best game out there. They want to be the only game. They want to be the only option.
Where they don't have to be the best.
They
Exactly.
not just they don't have to be the best, but also
they can pay less.
If there's no one else, if there's no AEW, if there's no GCW, New Japan, CMLL, or whoever, then that's less competitors out there that their talent have options to look forward to where it comes contract renewal time. Like let's say if Drew McIntyre last year when he re-signed, if there was no AEW or anywhere else to go, he's gonna re-sign no matter what, and he's gonna be paid fucking peanuts compared to what he's actually worth. I mean, say what you want about WWE, but I think we can all agree like Drew McIntyre is a top 10, top 20 talent in the world. He's fucking phenomenal. He's amazing. Same with like Chad Gable, who re-signed last year, and I think Becky Lynch also in the past years.
No, I wouldn't put her in the top 20. Yeah. No, I agree.
The whole man gimmick is done by accident. If Nia Jax did not blast her in the face, getting that bloody face, like remember saying in the crowd that iconic shot, she would have never reached the status that she did. I'm sorry, that's just how I see it.
I agree.
I think the man gimmick in 2025 is kind of corny and kind of
Now it's been going on for 7 years.
I think it's 7 fucking years. Holy shit. Like, yeah, I think it's played its course, and I'm sorry, the man slam is the weakest finishing move out there. It looks like my 7-year-old cousin like slamming his pillow on his bed when he's playing wrestling. Like, it doesn't look good, but that's my opinion. But
it just feeds into the idea that Triple H just does not have an original idea of his own, and he has just borrowed like every bit of creative from somewhere else.
And he's now borrowing the pillage the indies idea.
Yeah,
because
he's
not fun
borrowing
pillaging. That's why they've waited. The cynical part of me thinks there's no fun pillaging a village that was ransacked yesterday. You leave,
exactly.
You let it build itself back up, then you come back in and you take it. And
it's a shame because with the news today about Triller struggling, that. I mean, there's so many like top indie promotions that get exposure on Triller, and not really. Nowhere else, to be honest, unless you can actually get to the events, which is hard for a lot of people, to get to these events. With the news that Triller is struggling, that just plays even more into NXT UK, because if these promotions can't get exposure on Triller, they're going to have to do their own thing, try and put, which a lot of them maybe don't have the ability to set up or the finances to run. And that's just going to play into NXT UK having a TV exposure, whether that's on Netflix or whether WWE will get it on somewhere. Somewhere will pick it up, and that'll get exposure. And it will just these indies will just struggle even more and more. And that, like, selfishly, as a completely selfish point of view, my biggest worry is a lot of the shows I go to and really enjoy are gonna struggle, and some of these promotions may end up going out of business, and I really don't want to see that.
Yeah, some of the
I'm
smaller
all for
northern ones. The northern scene is really building right now, and
there's about six or seven in the Northwest alone that I go to, and they're really on fire at the moment, and I'd hate to see any of them struggle. And I'm all for the talent. The likes of Luke Jacobs, for instance, he's still rumoured of going about the Fed. If he gets a Fed offer, great for him, man. Brilliant. It's probably what he's dreamed of. Like his age, he probably grew up when WWE was the only thing going. And that's probably his dream, and that's great. And if he can go there and get paid, brilliant, as long as they don't just stifle him like they have done with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and turn him into generic nothing.
Genuinely good wrestler with
we
like
know
a
the chances are they're going to do that.
Yeah, they are. But my point was, though, like, I'm all for that. Like, it's like these guys like we said, they put the bodies through so much, mentally and physically, and I'm all for them achieving the dream and getting paid. And there's talent that will come through and replace them. But if these promotions don't exist, the talent isn't going to come through and replace them and get exposure to new fans constantly. If all we get is NXT Europe, it's essentially going to be like NXT now and Evolve, which is fucking dog shit. Like it is. NXT has a couple of good wrestlers. Evolve, from what I've seen, is fucking atrocious. Mm-hmm. And TNA, unfortunately, has been infected by this. And it's... I had a rant about TNA last time, but you've got a franchise fucking player there in Leon Slater, and you're still pushing NXT talent, and fuck that.
Just like Hal Hudson as well.
Speaking of pushing NXT talent in TNA, just think of the next couple of months between NXT and TNA. There's a possibility this weekend Trick Williams is going to beat Joe Hendry for the TNA World Title. So I think that's going to mean a trade between NXT and TNA. Hendry will go to NXT. The Trick will go to TNA, and I guarantee you, in July, whenever the pay-per-view is for NXT, watch Joe Hendry beat Obafemi, and it's like, listen, respect to Joe Hendry, to Joe Hendry, but it's like, that's the guy that's gonna beat Obafemi for the title, like, respectively.
I adore Joe Hendry. I'm one of his biggest supporters. Bite your fucking tongue, Brett. No.
The thing is,
it's going to happen.
He seems like a really genuinely nice bloke, but
he does.
You take away the gimmick, and unfortunately, there's nothing there for me. Unfortunately,
I love that he managed to get himself over by putting in the work and thinking outside the box. That's great. I've listened to him on a few interviews, and he comes across as a really nice fella. And like I say, the fact that he's used his initiative and made something happen rather than whinging about it, it's great.
Really
It just does nothing for me. The whole meme thing does nothing for me, but fair play to the guy. I hope he makes a fucking fortune from it. But it just does nothing for me, unfortunately.
We're not the demographics. We're old men.
Yeah, of course,
we have attention spans.
Lady, and he does something for me. I like.
But you're very kind. You like everything. You're nice. You're very positive. Me and Andy are miserable old bastards. We don't like everything. We don't
like Lucha Libre. I just like Lucha Libre. That's all I like.
Who the fuck is Lucha Libre? What?
I do like everything. I'm terrible.
That's fucking great. Do that. Be like that. Like everything. If everyone likes everything, there's no fucking
You'll
war.
never be disappointed.
I don't know why I've gone on to that, but if everyone likes everything, fucking A. Everyone should be more like Lucy.
That's why I hate the term.
She wants Ospreay to win the world title.
Maybe hate is a...
And you couldn't be nice.
Maybe hate is a strong word. Hate is a strong word, but when I hear the term, like a lot of fans will say, love all wrestling, I respectfully say, fuck that. I don't, because here's the thing. WWE is not for everyone. If you watch this podcast, that's true. WWE is not for everyone. AEW is not for everyone. Whether it's British or Japanese strong style, that's not for everyone. Lucha is not for everyone, and that's totally fine, okay?
Yeah, but
I look at wrestling like I look at music. I don't love every form of music. I don't like country, so I don't bother with it. So I say whatever the fuck you're wrestling that you're into, whether it's AEW, the Fed, whatever it is, like what you like, whatever you don't like, don't pay no fucking mind to. That's how you will get the most enjoyment out of professional wrestling. Or you could be one of these hippie dorks that love all wrestling, but you only watch watch WWE, you pretend to watch AEW just for the cliff notes and everything, because you wanna shake hands with everyone and be like a fucking presidential candidate, trying to get everyone's good side. We see that shit happen on Twitter and all the social media. Fuck that. I'd rather you love me for what I like and what is true and genuine than the fake phony love and like I pretend I like, oh, I like this. No, fuck that company. It's fucking boring. I don't watch it. I like this one. This suits my fucking needs. I just wish there was more. There's a lack of originality amongst a lot of new wrestling content creators today, whether it's on TikTok.
It's because they're all sitting on a fence, man, pulling splinters out of their fucking ass. Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
And
like,
fence,
love
man.
all wrestling that you watch. If you don't love it, but mind you, we have just talked about WWE for like 20
yeah, for way too long. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, WWE has it has a big fan base, but then so does Mrs. Brown's Boys. So we can move on now onto AEW, which is a far cooler product.
McDonald's, so do Man United, and they're all shit.
Yeah,
a really heartwarming story. I'll get us back on track. Don't worry.
What do you agree with there? Disagree with?
I just think you're gonna get yourself in trouble talking about Man United. Their fans are a little
why?
bit.
Because but they're fucking shit.
For the first time in my life, I actually feel sorry for Man United fans.
Even Corey's were taking the piss out of them today.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad.
Everyone, like, mate, I've got a lot of Man United, like 4 or 5 of my closest mates are United fans. They hate their football club right now. They've been taking the abuse on the chin. They know they've earned this abuse. For 2 decades, I've been waiting for these moments. Fuck that, they deserve it. They know they deserve it, and they're going to embrace it because...
Is that like the one club over there that you just hate with a passion, or... Like...
Yeah.
They dominate for 20 years. There's teams with less of a moral compass, like Man City, like Chelsea, like Newcastle. They've got no moral compass. They're just shameful football clubs. But Man United they were just dominating for 2 decades when me and Andy were growing up, and it was fucking miserable.
I'll say there was a time, like it was about 20 years ago, maybe more, WWE were in Manchester. Stacey Keibler came out. Stacey Keibler, absolutely amazing, one of the most beautiful women in the world. She came out wearing a Man United shirt, and she got booed the fuck out of that building.
There's no Man United fans in Manchester.
No,
yeah,
Manchester booed Stacey Keibler for wearing Man United gear. That's how much they were hated.
Dorset, Devon, Cornwall, London, that's Essex, that's where Man United fans live. Man United fans don't live in Manchester.
Man United is still probably the most famous, like, league football club across like the whole world, just because it attracts like
Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, and the biggest 4 are Liverpool in no order: Liverpool, United, Real Madrid, and Barca. They're the big 4. Then you've got a pool of other lot around them that Anyways. Double or nothing.
Oh no! I was going before we get on.
Now.
But I was going to say before we got on that, do you want to just really quickly touch on a really heartwarming story this week that we saw at the beginning, where Darby Allin climbed Everest, and he's the first pro wrestler to ever do it, and I think that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well done.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
cool.
That was excellent.
But like, just really quickly.
John Moxley for the world title at All In.
Well, I was going to.
No, look.
I was going to say,
Darby,
like, how did
We're
WWE
not
one
ruining
up
this, Brett.
There's nothing to ruin. He climbed a hill. Fucking great for the lad. Fucking made up for him. And that's it, Walked up a hill and put a flag up. Fucking fantastic. Well done, mate.
You can just imagine Triple H commissioning a space
can fucking do that
mission
easy.
to plant a WWE flag on the moon,
Yeah, Triple H
just
is
to
like...
outdo Darby.
I got it right here.
There's a shuttle leaving for Mars.
Oh,
I got a transcript of the call that he made to Seth. Hey, Seth, how you doing, bud? Hey, listen, how are you with Zero Gravity? Listen, we're gonna need you to get your tightest, your most extreme fit, and how do you feel about going to a 3-month trip to Mars, huh? Right.
You got enough hands in there. You need more grunts.
Your flag, tell Elon Paul sent you.
Listen, be a good soldier. You can take Becky with you. You need the man by your side. All right.
Oh,
come
God,
on now. We're
Sounding very fucking Vince now, that mate. Fucking hell.
Well, he's my father-in-law. I'm trying to sound like
Fucking...
him. I'm trying to be like him as a booker because I have no original ideas.
Less Triple H, more
Macho Man now.
That's macho.
So yeah, it's fucking Macho Man at the end there, mate.
I'm a man of many voices.
Dig it.
Yeah, don't worry, Seth. You can take some Slim Jims with you.
Do a kickflip on your way up, Seth.
Anyway, moving on.
Darby Allin.
Darby
Well
Allin's
done. I love
great,
that.
but
Darby
he's not
Allin
showing up
should
at
be
Double or
next world
Nothing.
champion. 5 years down the line, maybe. For now, no. Excellent achievement. Couldn't have done it. All the respect in the world for you. Do not go near that fucking title because that belongs to Hangman Adam Page.
He should turn up at All In. He should turn up at All In to fight off the Death Riders from the fucking rafters.
Yeah, he's not expected back for Double or Nothing, so it would have to be All In, but yeah.
Yeah, he can turn up at All In with Swerve together, two Seattle guys, are they, I think, and they can fight off the Death Riders to make amends for
Swerve at All In. We can get onto that.
No, that's Dave again and fucking Brian. They said that Darby was going to win the title. That fucking changed ages ago. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. I do love you, but you don't half talk shite now. I love Dave, but he does talk a lot of shite now. Like,
yeah. Thing is, they've
Everything you
got a
take
podcast,
with a
they've got
pinch of salt.
airtime to fill. You end up just saying shit.
Yeah, true.
They can't fill their airtime with cunts and fucks like we can, so they've got to fill it with something, and it tends to be inane nonsense that just has no sources, no logic to it. And you know what? Look, again, as you said, he's the greatest historian in the history of wrestling. There's no arguing of that. I don't care for any journalist that's not named Sean Ross Sapp to give me information that I'm going to take as gospel. If he says it, it's come from a source that is credible. Anyone else, some people have occasional, moments of genius, but it's Sean Ross Sapp. If he hasn't said it, it's probably not true.
If Sapp
Sean Ross Sapp and Andrew Zarian, they're the two. Zarian is on the money every single fucking time.
He comes out with one every so often, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He comes out, he drops a nugget maybe
A
once.
big one as well, yeah.
But
Sean
Sapp
has
is
to do the fucking feeds
never
every
wrong.
day.
Yeah.
I think
Zarian doesn't make it his
correct me if I'm
personality.
wrong. I think Zarian is more like the business end. Like he
seems to
like business deals. I think he was on it the whole way about the new media rights deal. And
he's got some contact in WBD somewhere. He has to have, because he mentioned about Collision about fucking 6 months before it even happened and before anyone even had an idea. He was hinting at it. He's always been spot on, and if he says something, it's usually nailed on. But no, look, at the end of the day, like you say, Dave, a lot of the stories that get traction because of like a Drainmaker and all these guys. But Dave actually does say when he's talking about these things that he's just speculating. But these get passed off as
say that, does it?
Yeah, exactly. If you say, well, Dave speculated that, it doesn't get the clicks. But if you say, oh, Dave on his show said, people fucking latch onto it, and
that.
yeah.
And I loved it. Me and Dave Meltzer have very similar taste in matches. That's why I tend to like Dave. But yeah, he does just come out with whatever pops into his head, and people report it as fact. Imagine if they did that with us.
Would Bandido
Great
Bullshit
news if
we
you want
say.
to come.
Yeah, well, I think they do, don't they? I mean, everyone knows David Arquette's turning up at All In
Obviously.
to reveal his master plan.
Fucking spoilers, Andy. God.
There's two guys who are the greatest wrestling historians in the world. One of them is a cunt, and the other one is Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's a fantastic historian, but he's a fantastic historian, but fuck me, he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave Meltzer is a fantastic historian, and just gets a few things wrong these days.
Hitler was a pretty decent painter, but that's not what we remember him as. So no, fuck it. Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer's on the board, isn't he? At the AEW board, that was getting knocked around yesterday as well. Or because he fucking.
Sapp is
Jesus
paid by them as
Christ,
well. Well, he's getting fucking cheese boards from WWE, so AEW aren't paying him that well.
Dave Meltzer has
fucking
shares in
paying
AEW.
I will shill for any company willing to pay me, not in cheese. Just so you know, I don't have the moral integrity of Meltzer or Sapp.
Anyway,
Okay.
I cannot wait for Sunday. We've tried this about 4 times, haven't we?
Yeah,
All right, come on then.
How
We
good
got there.
was
I've woken up now.
How
Right,
good
so-
was Dynamite?
I mean, that's the way we're going to go. If we go through the section of Dynamite, every single match, all 8 matches currently on the card. Rumours there's going to be one more match added tonight. We're recording this before Collision, so there might be a 9th, which we've kind of all stayed away from, I think. And if we haven't, no spoilers to each other. 8 matches, every single one of them was covered and built to varying levels of depth, but all successfully, I think, last night. Shall we get into the start of Dynamite? And it's one of, without a doubt, my favourite promo battles. AEW in wrestling, it was perfect. And the one thing I'll say before we go round is that was the best I've seen from Will Ospreay. That was the best promo I've seen him do. And he still came out second best, in my opinion. Hangman last night was absolutely perfect. From the little things, I think I spoke to you about it before, Andy. There was when he said how he needs a title, the way his voice broke when he said the word need. I'm like, that's people like the little Easter eggs of fucking Triple H hiding a duck in behind a lorry backstage. I like these kind of little nuanced bits when you've got someone breaking like the words that matter, like breaking when you're saying it because it means that fucking much to you. Hangman Page is the greatest normal character in wrestling history. I fucking love that dude. This was absolute perfection, and the whole thing only led me to believe more so that Hangman is winning on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. Then, like Ospreay, we know he's been on fire recently, but to me, like again, Hangman's story's too tight to derail here. Like, this feels like the moment that he gets his edge back, like literally and like emotionally. So, Ospreay, he can cut a good promo, but he's when he's a heel, he is way more vicious, and this is the best that I've seen him as a babyface doing the promo. But to me, it feels like that they are starting to sort of lean into like the heelish tendencies that we saw it, at the beginning when he was giving him the beer bottle, when he says, "Do you drink, Hangman? Do you still drink?" It's like, not in a bad way. So he very quickly corrected himself there. If he was a heel, he would have ridden that wave, and he would have done his usual Essex thing of like driving it further and further in, twisting the knife, and you could see a little bit of, doubt on Hangman's face, which I really, really liked, because obviously, as we know, the anxious millennial cowboy, when he has a few too many beers, he makes stupid decisions. So maybe this was by design.
He did it last week as well, though. Like, the heelish tendencies crept in last week as well when he basically interrupted Hangman and started to say, "Oh, sorry about your therapy session."
Yeah.
And just the way he's delivering his words, it does have that little bit of extra bite to it.
Yeah.
And almost like the selfishness of I want this for because I want to ascend to the top kind of thing. The only downside I had about the entire promo battle really was Will Ospreay's hair. Everything else about it was just phenomenal. It was just
hair, and I was
no, but if I had hair like that, I'd rather fucking have no hair, to be honest. His hair was fine. Why has he got the stupid parting like?
Thanks to Simon Miller, hair is the least fashionable thing in wrestling right now. No wrestler wants hair. They're putting together a team.
Well, Simon was pushing this for a long time, wasn't he? And Ricochet's kind of gave it a real boost in popularity now. So now Simon's kind of, I hope everyone doesn't forget that Simon was the first guy pushing this bald agenda.
The balls are getting bold. That's what's happening.
Yes.
Coming out of the...
But no, like the promo, like Matt was saying, the little things that Hangman does, like no wrestler, I probably ever, to be honest, has ever got me as emotionally invested in storylines as Hangman does. It's things like after the swerve match with the quivering lip as he's walking up the ramp, and like he's the best actor I've ever seen in wrestling. Like, it's insane the fact that he does this. And he's as good in the ring as he is incredible. I can't think of anyone who's close to as good an actor as he is and as good in the ring.
For me, the only other one who rivals him, but on a different sort of level, is MJF, is because of just how good he is.
I would also throw in
very
Tony Storm
very
in that
different
specific character.
Yeah,
they are, and I 100%. But like. I know, like, it sounds strange to say they're playing a character, Hangman's playing Hangman, which is a character, but his is more grounded the way he does it. They're more caricatures of the characters, whereas his is more like, the grounded kind of, real person essentially, but that's probably why you connect a lot more, and I do like it. He gets me so emotionally hooked into whatever he's doing that, like, I'm fully invested, and I will fucking cry for 7 weeks if he loses.
No, the thing is as well is that, sorry to interject, I will let everyone else like have their turn, but just for me, it feels like this match on paper is very unpredictable. Like, the way that they built these two finals is objectively very unpredictable. Like, you could make a case for either person to win. Me personally, I want Hangman to win because I felt that he never had a proper run with the belt to start with, like, and he deserves it, especially now because his character's like developed more. He's got more layers to his, to his arc and everything like that. We've had all the whole swerve stuff has really kind of like it's in the past now, and it's shaped who he is now. And having his run with the belt when that like babyface music hits at All In in Texas, it's just gonna be like MJF teased it, when he came out and actually swerved them all. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And imagine having that at, like, Globe Life Field. Oh, mate, you couldn't write a better story. And him walking away with the title is, they're not going to send the crowd home unhappy at All In, are they? Like, it's not going to happen. They haven't done it the last 2 years. They're not going to do it in their biggest stadium show in the US. Like,
Moxley's losing. Moxley's losing regardless. Like whoever wins. But for me, the big thing with Hangman is just the fact that this has been 2 years of storytelling. And I feel like if Hangman loses again, like this is, you can't, it's just dragging on too long, and it kind of like dampens the character. I think this is the perfect moment. Whereas Will Ospreay, like as a heel, I fucking love him as a heel, and I think that to have Ospreay, fully kind of embrace that, I think he could be absolutely incredible. Like he's incredible anyway, but he could be fucking next level. He could be the best heel in the fucking business, completely.
You could do a hot heel arc going into the summer, like start the slow burn to Ospreay turning heel after London, perhaps. Anyway, I'll shut up now. I think it's only fair that we give everyone else a chance to say their piece.
Go on, Brett, you go, because I'm the only holdout for Ospreay, so I'm going to go last because I've got a lot to tell you.
When I saw that promo battle last night, I didn't even think of it as two wrestlers having a promo battle. I saw two real life guys who showing real legitimate 100% real passion for what they see as the biggest prize in all of wrestling right now. When I see Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page, I'm not looking at them as characters. And like with Hangman, he is the most emotionally invested I've been in a character development or someone's story in so long, maybe since like freaking Daniel Bryan back in 2013 when it was him against the Authority. Because my favorite type of character in wrestling for forever is the underdog. It's the guy who's fighting from underneath to all obstacles in his way. He's gonna lose. He's gonna fall down. But what does he keep doing? He keeps getting back up. Keeps coming. And who better than the Hangman? He fell off the horse a couple of years ago. He's been fighting, scratching, clawing, all within here. His biggest enemy in the past 2 years, he can make the argument, hasn't been Swerve Strickland. It's been himself. He has let himself, he's lost his cowboy way. But we have seen the past 4 to 5 months, like here in 2025, we've seen slowly but surely him just getting back up on his feet. Now he's at the point where he's right there about to get back on the horse right there. And for all the guys that we've seen, like we moaned and groaned when we saw like a Christopher Daniels on our screen a lot of the weeks. But guess what? Christopher Daniels was an integral part of this story right there, because that was the first key right there. When Hangman heard those words from Christopher Daniels that he can never wrestle again, you saw a little switch went off in Hangman. He finally saw the error of his ways, the real true harm of the actions that he's done the past couple of years. It hasn't just been hurting himself, but supposedly the people he's loved his whole life, not just Christopher Daniels, but like his family that he talked about this past last night. And listen, Will Ospreay, whether he wins or loses, he's not going up, he's not going down. Will Ospreay will be fine. He's only been with the company for a year. Hangman is a day one guy. When you look at how AEW was built, this company was built for him. Why I love Hangman so much, because he is the realest character maybe I've ever seen in wrestling. Like, it was built for him. He had all the expectations in the world. How many of us have had expectations as big as this damn planet and you fail? You feel in your heart that you let everyone down.
Not me. Never fail.
Not you? Perfect. All right.
No.
Not me. No one expects anything from me.
But
while you're talking about that, though, Brett, with the Christopher Daniels moment, there was actually signs before that in the story. That's how good it's been. I mean, because the whole moment after the Swerve cage match, like, Will Ospreay talked about that last night, and he said, "Oh, you were going to go back down and get him again." I didn't think he was. Watching that, I thought he was kind of second guessing himself, and he was looking with the quivering lips, standing on the edge of the ramp. I thought he was like, "What the fuck have I done?" I didn't think he was going back down to go for him again. I took that as he was going to, like, what the fuck have I done? Have I done the right fucking thing here? So the detail all along has been so fucking good. And like that it's things like that do pull you in, don't they, and get you so emotionally invested in a story.
This is why, for me, he has to win. It's not look. Hangman is my favourite wrestler in the world now. He's Danielson's up there. I love this guy. I want him to win. But I just think when you look at the structure of it, All In is going to be their biggest event on home soil ever, yeah? No, that's undisputable. It's going to end up with 25 to 30,000 in there. It's their biggest event. They're going to want to send the fans home happy. But this is where the story for a chapter closes, a new one begins after All In. It's the perfect chapter. Will Ospreay still has to write his chapter to get to that world title. Everyone else, every other world champion has had a real story arc to get to that. To whatever degree. Even Samoa Joe did. Lost to MJF in like September and said, I am going to win that title off you. And then took it off him on December the 31st. So 3-4 months later. There hasn't been that with Ospreay. Oh, there's so much. The reason I don't want Ospreay to win is two things. One, Hangman, I love him. But the other one is, I want, when Will gets it, to feel that he has really fucking earned it. And yes, his match catalogue is the best in the world. But there's so much more to scratch on the surface of him in terms of his character. There's so much more for him to do in the next year. It could be a heel turn and then a face turn in that period of time that leads him up to, in 15 months' time, winning the big one at All in London. That just makes perfect sense to me. I think it's the best use of everyone. I think it's the most satisfying story end. Amongst all the, I want him to win because I love him stuff, that's one of the main reasons. I want Ospreay to be world champion badly, just not yet.
So, Lucy, tell us why we're all wrong.
I am going to tell you why. And do you know how serious I am?
Why?
Enough.
Oh, boy.
Okay, we are repping Just William for this one. And I'm not going to argue that, like, Ospreay won the promo battle, because nobody wins a promo battle against Hangman Adam Page. He is absolutely the best actor in wrestling ever. And I'm not necessarily going to argue that the reason Ospreay should win is because Ospreay should win. I'm going to argue that Hangman should lose. That's why I think Ospreay should win this, because Hangman should lose. Mark, sit up. You listen to this. Hangman should lose. Winning the title now is one of the least interesting things he could do. He is not finished. He's not over Swerve. He's not over. He's not there. You've all said he's gone through this journey. He's got that. He hasn't. He hasn't got to the end of it yet. He still can't spend He couldn't spend Christmas with his kid. He can't carry a fucking company. Something that should take, years to get over. He cannot be champion until he's done with all that bullshit. And that's not how he does it. He doesn't do that by winning the title. He does that by going back to who he used to be, by making things right with his friends, with the Dark Order, with the Elite, with Christopher Daniels. Winning the title is not how Hangman finishes his story. He's already won a title. That didn't save him. That fucked him up. He's not there. And I don't think we're meant to think he's there.
Neither is Will Ospreay.
Now, Ospreay. Yeah, you could argue, like, the way to go is Hangman wins, loses it to heel Kenny, Kenny drops it to Ospreay at Wembley. But that means you have to either keep Will Ospreay a babyface for 15 more months, or you have to turn him, then turn him back.
I've changed my mind now on that. I don't want that to happen.
So you want what? You want Will to win it from Hangman?
I want Will to win it from Hangman, a heel Will. I want Will to now. I said this the other day. I want Will to I want the Elite to take Will and make him their number one guy. I want the Elite to make him their new Kenny Omega, and then we can have a Will Kenny Omega feud, and then a Will Ospreay beating Hangman for the title down the line. No,
that means you send a heel Will Ospreay to Wembley Stadium.
Don't care. We've had heel hometown heels before. It's fucking it works.
You know but you lose that moment of Ospreay taking. Was anybody there when Zack brought the title back, the New Japan title? When I was there when he walked in as champion, when he brought it home. We could have Ospreay do that at the O2, and have that babyface Ospreay in England. It's the only chance to do it.
It's a cheap pop, though. I mean that's on the same. It's on the same level as people who wanted Mercedes to lose to fucking. Yeah, it's not Pepsi, is it? So it's better than that. But it's on the same level of people who wanted Mercedes to drop the title to fucking Harley Cameron just for a cheap pop. It's great for that 5 minutes, but you've wasted fucking 2 years worth of storytelling.
Cameron was the best wrestler in the world.
It's not yet for me. I just want to see this.
There's two things I just want to bring up. Technically, Ospreay was a heel on the first All In when he fought Jericho.
Yeah.
Just on the night,
and he still got he
still got popped. But at the same time, I get
Is that what you want
obviously-
against Hangman? You want people cheering a heel Ospreay against Hangman?
I don't give a fuck. I'd be cheering Hangman, to be honest.
Don't end an all-in on a heel, a bad guy win. You just...
The second thing,
But they can't constantly do it with the faces winning now and everyone going, I'm happy. They're going to have to at some point do it. And I think Will Ospreay winning at Wembley.
They don't.
Oh, yeah. Because it wins both ways. The rest of the world will be pissed off. The people in the UK will be fucking made up because Ospreay's won.
If they can twist it so that we will boo Hangman, maybe, but I don't see that they can.
I'd boo my own children before I'd boo Hangman Adam Page.
There you go. He's not going to boo
the
Hangman
second
at Wembley
thing
for
is
Boo
that-
Ospreay.
Hangman Adam Page as long as I live. Him and Swerve are two, and Willow are three people that and Mercedes.
Willow
are four
doesn't
people
count.
Oh no.
that I would
You
never, ever
know,
boo.
I disagree
you
with
know the
Swerve
biggest
because,
red flag in
Yeah,
the world,
yeah.
in my opinion. You
No, everyone
can't
loves
boo
Willow.
Willow.
I disagree about like booing Swerve. I was booing Swerve like fuck at Wembley last year because I wanted Danielson
Yeah.
to win, but because
Yeah.
I would never boo Bryan Danielson
Yeah.
if you had a gun to my head.
Boo
No,
anyone. I
but-
wanted Danielson to win, but I wasn't going to boo anyone. I
Oh,
was
no,
just going to enjoy
It's
the
the one
moment.
I
Boo
said,
the fuck out of Swerve.
you know, my friend can attest. I said, look, I'm so sorry, Swerve, but I'm going to boo the shit out of you today. But the second
had
thing,
an
Lucy,
American Dragon
I just wanted
fly.
to sort of contest what you said about Hangman winning the title. Well, I'll say this and let's move on to the next match. But Hangman winning the title does not signal the end. I think that's when he then starts to have that change of heart. That's what drives him because he needs that to feel alive. He needs that to feel some semblance of humanity that he's missing. He has that. He gains that back, and then he starts making all the amends with the Dark Order, with Daniels, and so on and so forth. But yeah, then you've got like 2 more years of awesome storytelling to tell with that.
Yeah, and
Do the storytelling first, then.
And you can then approach the Swerve Hangman storyline further down the line because at the end of the day,
Well, that's why I wanted to ask Lucy something here. So you said that Hangman shouldn't win because he hasn't got over Swerve yet. He needs to sort that.
He hasn't
Fine,
gone over
but
himself
how-
yet. It's not about
No,
really about
that's fair
Swerve.
enough. But it's with Swerve. But in that, Swerve is the one who's acknowledged that he deserved what happened to him. So it's up to Swerve to make amends. He needs to make atonement here. So is there no better way of him doing that than, I'm not saying get in the ring, kick Moxley in the bollocks and cover Hangman with him, but with him coming down, again, with Darby and fighting off the Death Riders and giving Hangman that little glances on the apron, like the Bucks did with Hangman.
oh please,
I don't
yes.
think Swerve... I
Swerve the little
don't
nod,
see Swerve
Hangman-
helping Hangman win the title.
I think he's not. He's making Moxley lose it more than anything. But he acknowledges
Maybe.
he's the one in the wrong here. He can stand there. Hangman's on the apron looking down. Swerve gives him that butt look, gives him a little nod. Hangman doesn't even nod back. He just turns faces. Bang, knocks him down. 1, 2, 3. See you later.
You see, you do that, and then down the line, you can do the can they coexist down the line then because you've kind of approached the issues really you've kind of hinted towards it because at the end of the day, Swerve okay, he said yeah I know, but he's not actually fucking acknowledged the lengths of the damage he's caused to Hangman. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I'm sorry, but I know what you're on about. But like, what I was going to say is, like, for Swerve, it was nothing to him. All the shit that he did to destroy Hangman's life was just, it was just for him. It was just business. It reminds me of that fucking Street Fighter, the great movie Street Fighter 2, the fantastic movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, when Raul Julia's playing Bison, and he says like I can't remember his. He says. For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday. That's like it was for Swerve. All it was for him, he just had his eyes on that title and he was going to destroy whoever was in his way. So he went full on fucking scumbag and broke into someone's house and threatened a baby. He stalked his pregnant wife and made him move house. Hangman is basically a different movie. He's Paul Casey from Death Wish, where someone's fucking attacked his family. Everyone else has stood by and just done nothing. The Dark Order didn't come and help him. They were just like, oh, you're all right, mate. We're just dicking around.
Hangman can now get his head straight, forget about all that, and focus on the title enough to beat Will Ospreay, can he? You don't think
I
he
think
should
so.
still be fucked up by that?
I think he should beat Will Ospreay, and because Ospreay's not got a clear head either. He's looks fucking obsessed with this to the point where, and for him, it's not about any kind of story or anything. It's just because he wants to win the title.
He's also said about how he can't. He said he acknowledged he's never beaten John Moxley, so he doesn't know if he can. But that's why he's asking Hangman to do the right thing and stand by him if he wins. Fuck is he? Hangman's going to win it on his own.
So by beating Hangman, he then proves that he can do what Hangman did and beat Moxley. You beat the guy that beat Mox, you can now beat Mox. That's why it should be Ospreay.
It's because we've also had the fact that like Moxley has only genuinely shown fear to Hangman is the only one who has genuinely managed to get Moxley to give a look of fear whenever he turned up. Exactly, because he's the only one who's fucking beating him out of all these guys.
So he doesn't take. He takes that title, and he's still in this frame of mind. All you get is a more crazy Mox with better hair.
That's good. I don't mind that. I'm happy with that.
But I don't think you do. You see the smile on his face on Dynamite last week when the crowd had chanted his name and he kind of looked up, or was it 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and he looked up and he actually smiled and he was like, "Wow, they still this is."
He's getting it, but it's not time.
Yeah, but it's fucking 2 months ago. It's 3 months away, 2 months away, or whatever. So there's plenty of time.
Not the match against to beat the best fucking wrestler in the world. He's not. The head is in the wrong place. It is going. Look, this is going to him. Okay, the tits don't lie. It's Ospreay's turn.
Richard beat the fucking best wrestler in the world not so long ago. He's not going to win the title.
Not yet.
Takeshita did. He's not going to win. He should do.
Okay, there's arguments about best wrestler in the world if we're talking about Takeshita then.
Just real
heavy.
That looks so heavy.
I'm going to make a point.
Brett, go on.
One next time.
No, I just want to say, like, real quick, you know what's funny? Like, what's been great about with both finals is that I think I remember we both questioned, like, they were doing the tournament so early, Yeah. But it's actually turned out to be the best decision because it's given weeks, like, perfect storytelling for both the men's and the women's. Like, we've seen
for
like
Jamie
continuous,
especially,
like,
I think
character
give her
development,
that
not just with
time.
Hangman, but Jamie has been knocking these interviews out of the park. So I think like the decision to do the Owen tournament so early, it just gave that time to build the story between both finals. Like, and now both finals right now, you can make an argument for all four of the winners in a sense. Like, I want Hangman and Hayter to win because I think those are the most logical, like, as far as storyline wise, because if those two win, then it pretty much fills out almost half the card in All In a sense. Like, and I think there's logical reasons why Hayter should definitely win. I mean, because you get two matches out of that equation right there. But like I said, I praise Tony Khan for starting the tournaments early because, like I said, it's built in the stories that's going all the way to All In and beyond. I mean, but yeah, just last thing, the promo battle was just amazing. I mean, five if you could rate a promo battle, that's 5.5 million stars.
Fucking break the scale, that man. 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So we
fantastic.
shift on to the next thing that happened on Dynamite. The next thing that happened on Dynamite, well, obviously they moved into the Anarchy in the arena. Do we touch on that now, or should we go with that at the end to close things off? Because there's a lot to dissect there. And
They finished off with it, didn't they?
Yeah, I think we finish off with that because there's a lot. Yeah.
Next thing was probably one of the one match that I think I'm going to be the Lucy of this conversation. We started off with what I thought was a nice little backstage bit. MJF was on great form. He's just been so good with this role. I'm loving MJF. I've always loved him, but I'm really enjoying him again. Like, it's one of the highlights of an exceptional show most weeks. And then we went to the ring. The contract signing was relatively smooth. I was still enjoying everything. I was waiting for something to happen.
There was shenanigans. Both lawyers.
I think, as I was saying earlier, like the way they cut MJF off just as he was about to tell us what he'd signed. That's not just a member. He's the leader.
Happy. MJF is never cheerful unless he's about to upset someone.
What did he say? It was something like, I'm proud to announce that I am now the, and then Dustin Rhodes interrupted. He's the leader, isn't he? Or he's the owner or something. Mark Sterling was buzzing.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw the tweet, didn't you? Like, you shared it in the group chat. You said about how I love it when a contract signing goes as planned. It's just brilliant. I think Mark Sterling I
love him.
People give him a lot of shit, but I think he's phenomenal TV, actually. I think
the way he just stands there with it holding his fucking sides of his, he's so fucking good.
But no, like I agree. Like MJF he's in, but that man does not breathe without an ulterior motive. Exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing, and it's like I said earlier. He's one of the best actors next to Hangman for me in terms of just like his delivery. I think he's perfect. The way MVP as well was
He's so
vibing
good,
with the
isn't he?
crowd, and
Jesus.
them two were just insulting New Mexico. It was great. It was absolutely brilliant. So yeah.
MJF.
I don't think it's
Really
gonna.
interested to see where they go with this, and yeah, it's like the match on the pay-per-view. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but to me, again, it's perfect. The outcome's pretty clear. It's Dustin and Sammy. The Sons of Texas. They want to take the titles going into Texas. I get it, but Lashley and Benjamin aren't losing. They're going to roll with this story for a little bit longer. And I'm really excited to see how it goes because I'm just loving their segments at the moment.
Yeah.
Lucy, I know you've got.
Go on.
No, Lucy, I know you got Lucy. I'll jump in after you go. You go.
Because I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to probably yell at you. Because I love, worship, and adore Dustin Rhodes more than almost anybody in the world. I know I like everybody, but Dustin's on another level. I love Sammy as well. But I do agree that they're probably going to lose. But yeah, MJF is absolutely planning something because there's no way that he allows himself to trust anyone again after Adam Cole ruined that boy. He is the living embodiment of trust issues. Hurt them before they hurt you. Isn't that the saying? Hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's going to be what he's got on a t-shirt.
Hurt the people who hurt people.
Yep.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
He's gonna have that on a t-shirt,
That's
isn't
the
he?
t-shirt. Yeah.
Hurt people,
I'm better at hurting people than you.
The thing is as well is that no one's mentioned this, but I remember it clear as day. When he lost to Hangman at Revolution.
Yeah. Revolution.
Then they cut to the backstage. Like they put it on social media when he's staring at himself in the mirror and screaming at him, and he breaks the mirror as if to say, "You're a fraud."
When he screamed, "Why him and not me?"
Exactly.
Oh.
MJF has so many things up his sleeve, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Remember when he did it to Ospreay as well? He said they used to cheer. They loved me before you came back and ruined it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We would love you
he
again.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he is playing them like fiddles.
So can I say, I've been very critical of this match. I don't care for it. I think the build for it. Again, I'm separating the people. I love the Hurt Syndicate. I love them. Since they've been tag team champions. Now, I listed before on Twitter, there's a lot of good tag teams division. A lot of them are preoccupied, a lot of them have been injured. But their 3 pay-per-view appearances have been the definition of foregone conclusions. And against opponents that are not going to bring the best out of Bobby Lashley because Shawn can have a good match with anyone. Lashley needs the right opponents, I think. And the dynamics of the Outrunners, Bill and Keith, and now Dustin and Sammy. The other 2 matches were not good matches. They were by quite a distance the weakest matches in Revolution and Dynasty. The best match they've had was against the Gates of Agony, because against big men, that's where they're going to thrive more. It's just got more of that kind of dynamic. Like Miro's only good match in his last 2 years in AEW was against Hobbs at All Out 2023. Everything else he'd done when he bothered showing up was crap in the last couple of years. But that's my biggest issue is 3 pay-per-views in a row. It's an absolute foregone conclusion, the tag title match, and it just feels that. Look, I know that again, the QT Marshall Big Show match, we can hark back to those kind of things, and I'm sure that it will be inoffensive on the night. But it just feels like such a match that's just giving people an opportunity to complain. Like I would have much rather seen them against the Gates of Agony on pay-per-view when it could have been 4 big boys battering each other for 8 or 9 minutes. For me, it just does nothing for anyone involved, and it's just gonna be a match that's gonna have a cage match rating of 4.93, 2 3/4 stars from Meltzer, and everyone's gonna moan about it. And then an otherwise potentially perfect show, people are gonna have something to shit on. For me, it's just. It may well have not have happened. You may as well have put it on Collision tonight. And if you're adding another match tonight, which rumours are that by the time this goes to broadcast, the 9th match will be on the card, and hopefully it's another women's match, as someone's led me to believe, then this match is just, for me, unnecessary. There's other things they could have done to fill time rather than a third successive, predictable as fuck tag team title match.
Which
It's going to be 5 minutes.
To be overshadowed by MJF turning.
That's exactly that. I agree.
Too early for that.
It's going to be a 5-minute match, and the whole thing is going to be the whole spectacle of that match is going to be about whatever happens with MJF.
Yeah,
whether he turns,
yeah.
whether he turns or whether they find out what exactly they've signed, which I think is probably more likely. They're going to somehow, whatever happens in the match, I don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to be like, what the fuck have we signed here? And it's going to then
That's a
lead.
Dynamite thing. They never do segments, do they? They don't do it.
They do a lot with MJF. MJF's done a lot of segments on pay-per-views. It's MJF. Like what? I mean, fucking hell. Do you remember when he turned up, when he returned, and it was like the biggest thing on the pay-per-view, and it was just him returning and fucking finishing off Adam Cole in about 2 minutes. Yeah. It's like it's MJF. Like whatever he does, I'll be happy with, and I don't care. Like Dustin Rhodes is a legend. If they want to give him a bit of a showing on a pay-per-view for 5 minutes just on his last run, give him it. And Sammy's fucking brilliant, man. Who knows?
Sammy's selling for Bobby Lashley. I mean, it's going to be great.
Sammy is incredible. He's one of the most overhated. He's up there with
Of course he is.
with Mercedes. He's one of the most overhated, overcriticized wrestlers.
Well, who knows? Maybe that. Like this is not what I think, but maybe Daniel Garcia isn't going to be an MJF group. I wouldn't say no to Sammy joining him, to be honest, because I love Sammy as a heel, and it would add something different to the group. Rather than a load of guys who are just great kind of mat wrestlers. Sammy can do a lot of fucking high flying, exciting shit.
This is it as well. There's also like the elephant in the room about like Cedric Alexander. What if they're getting they're beating someone down, and then Cedric actually comes down with FTR, and MJF screws the Hurt Syndicate, and Cedric joins them, but he doesn't join the Hurt Syndicate. He joins the Pinnacle. Imagine that. That would be a fucking moment and a half.
Well, like out there things like that though. I was actually watching it last night and thinking, is MVP in on this with MJF or what? Like because
I legit thought that.
Shit, I didn't even think of that.
Because he is. There's a lot of things where he's kind of like very pally with him, and Shelton's just going along for the ride. He seems happy. He doesn't give a fuck. And maybe Bobby's the only one who's kind of switched on and like
I think like Bobby's
the one last night. The dynamic between them has been a certain way from day one. Like, why did MVP even entertain him in the first place?
I know.
Because it's so ridiculous that he's entertained him. Bobby Lashley's completely within his rights to not trust MJF for shit. Yeah, he's and I'm not having the show on Benjamin at his age with his brains is that lured by a couple of ladies of the night. I'm sorry, I'm not having that.
I don't know.
What were you saying, Brett?
Come on, you're quite quiet, Brett. Can you shout a little bit?
I was gonna say, it's kind of funny. Like you have Mark Sterling, MJF's lawyer. I don't think we got a name for the lawyer for the MVP brawl, but that's MVP is the one that introduced this lawyer. So, like you said, you have MVP and MJF, and the two lawyers aren't together. What the hell did they draw up in that contract? Like you said, Cedric coming in, we think the obvious thing. Oh, he's coming to the aid of Bobby and Shelton, but holy shit, what if he joins MJF and MVP in their little version of the Hurt Syndicate, and they out Bobby and Shelton? Like, that's what I love of this. I have no idea where this is going, but the characters,
I'm
the
here
players
for the
that are involved, MJF, MVP, Bobby, Shelton, everyone, I don't care. I don't want to know where it's going. That's the fucking great thing. Like,
exactly.
We complain about predictability all the time in professional wrestling. There is nothing predictable at all. We literally cannot. If you had $100 right now and say this is exactly what's going to happen in 1 month, you would. How sure would you feel of that bet?
Yeah, I'd stick it all on Hangman, but all the rest, I agree with you. They're all quite unpredictable.
It harks back to what you were saying a while
throw
back.
money away then.
Nobody watches like as a fan,
We'll put a bet on
nobody
Andy.
really watches as a fan. Everybody wants to watch like as a booker or as their
They
part of
do.
the creative team. It's like, nah, this time I'm actually watching as a fan because I'm just happy to see how this pans out because I'm really enjoying it.
There's so many people out there who watch and they judge everything based on what they've heard. So it's like like you see people this week watching it and they're going, yeah, I don't know why they're bothering with this just so Darby can win the title off Mox. And it's like, fuck off. Like that was a story in fucking November or something, and clearly things changed. Darby had his opportunity to go because he was supposed to go the year before. Maybe he didn't know he was going to go this year, and the opportunity came up. Tony's not going to fucking say no to him, clearly. If it's something one of his dreams, and it's an incredible thing he's done, climbing up a hill. And so, at the end of the day, yeah, they like watch things and just watch it as a TV show, and see how things unfold rather than based on a rumor you've heard from fucking Dave and Brian speculating, killing time.
Exactly it.
Because as Wrestling Mark said earlier, because they can't call people cunts.
No, maybe if they did, they'd
So,
be a little bit better.
speaking
If
of
you're getting a
cunts,
wank, that's it. If you're getting genuinely upset about, I mean, it's fun to fantasy book and yell about, no, Ospreay's got to win or else I'm quitting it forever. But it is a TV show. I'll get over it.
We go from
Well, I
cunts to
won't.
bitches and go on to Okada Speedball next.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, this got added today, didn't it?
I think we all know this match, who's going to win this match, but this is one I don't care because I know this is going to be good. I'm hoping this brings the motivated and fully up for it Okada to give us a 15-minute match here. It'll be Speedball's first pinfall defeat, I think, in an AEW, assuming he does, which, I mean, he's going to. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this is the kind of match to, like, again, it's still going to be a really good match, but this is the kind of one when you're not as emotionally attached to the match. It's like, I will be with Anarchy in the arena, like the two Owen Harts. This is the match I can sit back and say, you know what, this probably could have been a Dynamite main event, but I'm fucking glad it's on pay-per-view. 15 minutes of two very, very different styles. It'll be very fun watching them mesh. It'll be great to see Speedball just keep it up. Like, again, he's been such a great signing so far, along with Kevin Knight, massively exceeded expectations on what I initially thought would get from them. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it'll be a solid 4-star match. I'm hoping Okada's warmed himself up for having to be going at full pelt in 8-9 weeks' time.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like, just let them wrestle for like 15 minutes, watch the style. It's like we said about Okada, like the first 10 minutes of an Okada match are deliberately slow. But it's when he goes into that next 10-minute stretch when he hits like another gear. And if he hits that with Speedball, you could make some real magic happen. And, you know, you could get a few false finishes, which keep you sort of on your toes and everything like that. It's weird because, you know, again, you know, we talked about Anarchy in the arena taking up a lot of the champions from like title defenses. So this is probably one of the few ones that, you know, you could feasibly do. So I'm glad they're doing it on pay-per-view. So have a few actual title matches like on the pay-per-view. But yeah, again,
still shouldn't be a title.
But
it's true.
It could be Okada's last pay-per-view title defense before you know that belt gets merged.
Continental title.
Before that belt goes down the All In. Yeah.
As we said earlier, though, like Okada, he's having a laugh. He's getting paid big money. He's clearly enjoying what he's doing, and he doesn't do bad matches. It might not be as good as his matches, in the past, but it's not going to be a fucking a 2 or 3 star.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The thing is, in New Japan, like, you know, his matches would always regularly go over 30 minutes. So, and in New Japan, like, the strong style, like, ethos is 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is deliberately slow. It's meant to be that way. He's and he, you know, when he's on TV, like, semi-regularly in his heel role, which he clearly enjoys, he's having a great time. He's absolutely loving it. And so
his facial expressions are amazing.
Like, people forget the matches he had with Ricochet, with Ospreay, with Pac, with Eddie, with Danielson. They were all fantastic. Everyone has this revisionist history that, he's phoned it in, or he can't have good matches anymore. That can he fuck? Yeah.
He's not had a bad match. He's not had a bad match. He's had some matches that are just good, but he's not had a bad match.
No, of course not. No, but this will be great. I know who's going to win. You know, we're getting that big showdown at All In, which we know is coming. But Speedball will take his first loss, and it'll be a pretty good moment. I could see like someone from LFI costing Speedball the match personally, just to sort of protect him a little bit. But even so, you know, he's going up against the Rainmaker. You know, probably one of the best to ever do it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
I mean, just real quick on last night, his interview with Renee, comedic genius. He is a comedic genius, and it's just crazy. Like, he has us like on puppet strings. We're all waiting for that one word for his catchphrase. He goes away, he's like, "Trust me," then he comes back, "Trust me," like. But like, fucking brilliant. Like, you could say and do the most without saying or doing a lot, and that's what he just showed in that little minute interview with Renee. Like, sometimes less is more, and that's just gonna build up when we get that bitch, like maybe at the paper or whatever. It's just gonna be a bigger pop and even more funny. But like I say, I think he's a natural in his role that he's in right now. The heel, like I say, he hasn't had a bad match. He and Speedball have a good one, but it's all leading down to the eventual showdown at All In, him and Omega. And I don't know if you heard me say earlier that Continental title, like Andy said, shouldn't be a title. It won't be after All In.
I wish I'm not a fan of merging the titles, but I just want rid of that one, so I don't care. I mean, whatever.
It's necessary for, like you said, I know you don't like the merging, but for it to get it off, like this is the makes more sense.
If they're going to do that, and then announce that the next tournament it's going to be a trophy and the winner gets a title shot or something, because whatever. But like, what's your favorite Okada moment so far in AEW.
You know
Mine's
what?
still when Mercedes did a dance and he's like,
Oh, it's like-
Yeah,
he was all
yeah,
of
that's
us at
gold.
that point, Okada.
The blood and guts match
It was, I
last
tell you
year.
what, one
when-
bit,
oh,
the bit with Beast Mortos on Collision that time, when he just went to Okada and he was like, Beast Mortos, and it went to Mortos, and he was like, because that's Okada, he went, bitch, and he went, Rah! It was fucking, honestly, it was so stupid. It was just,
The one
it
for
was
me,
so fucking
the one
good.
for me is when he got given the Ferrari by the Young Bucks, and he looks like he's crying, but then the camera is like panning, and it pans up to him going,
Yeah. What's the bit where he's backstage pressing buttons?
oh, he's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I broke
Train
everything.
was
I'm
coming
so
out.
sorry, bitch.
I'm sorry.
You,
Bitches.
you guys picked all that like blood and guts last year when Swerve had the staple gun and Okada with the finger and Swerve hit him with the staple gun on his middle finger. And then like everyone is all bloodied up and beat up, and I think it was on his Instagram or Twitter. He showed like the little staple gun bit in his middle finger. He's like that was the punishment. Like Jack Perry took a steel chair through the head, Darby and everyone else in bleeding buckets, and one stapler for the Rainmaker.
He's great. More
Mhm.
Okada.
Incredible.
Yes.
So the other backstage bit last night, they didn't get any in-ring time that will probably get touched on Collision after this has been released. But again, like tag matches, like, I've seen some people bizarrely say this should have been a TV tag match. Shows how little their like wrestling knowledge and history is when you're saying that FTR against Nigel McGuinness and Danny Garcia should not be a pay-per-view match because something big could happen here. We could get a heel turn on Sunday. FTR did a backstage segment last night that was... It's FTR. I love him. Stokely was brilliant in this. I forgot. He was actually great in this. The match itself, again, it's Nigel McGuinness in a wrestling ring again.
Mhm.
It's the, third match he's had?
Yes.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's
Yeah.
the Casino
Yeah, it's
Gauntlet,
Casino Gauntlet,
Danielson match,
Danielson.
and then...
Yeah, so fourth, yeah. So,
If we
yeah,
count the
like,
Battle Royal.
you always want to have him in. Always want to see Nigel McGuinness. This match has got endless ways it could end. What's Daniel Garcia going to do at the end here? Maybe nothing. It might be a really good tag match, but it's FTR. When they're motivated, which is most of the time, they're up there with the Bucks for me, and I think that they will want to make sure this is a fucking banging tag match, and it's their first match on pay-per-view as heels again, and they work much better as heels. So yeah, good shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think FTR they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. I'm quite into this heel run that they've got going on. Like, I don't really know which way it could go. I mean, like, I would have turned Garcia like months ago personally. Like, I think
Yeah, same.
maybe that ship sailed. I don't really know, but again, yeah, I'll watch it because it's got Nigel in it. Nigel and Dax could have some like really good banter in the ring. I think this is also it could see the return of Cope at the end to get revenge for writing him off because obviously he was at the Maple Leafs game the other day.
Game 7 where you saw sad
Yeah.
Cope.
Yeah. So they show him. So he's clearly he's probably ready for a return or something like that. Again, I think they are building to that. They are building to Cope and FTR with Christian. Again, I don't know how we get there. I've got some theories, but maybe it'll take me too long to sort of.
I think
delve
that's
into.
miles away. I just don't see how you can do it anytime soon.
With All Out in Toronto, it kind of made me feel, oh, maybe there is a little iron in the fire here. But
They'd have to really ramp it up in the next few weeks to get close to that.
There's between now and I was checking this earlier. Between now and All In, there are about 7 episodes of Dynamite, 7 episodes of Collision, give or take. Some of them are longer than others. Some of them are on different days and whatever else. And some of them are like TV specials. So again, if you're going to turn Christian face, then you've got a lot of undoing to do. So I think All Out, because it's in September, gives them that little bit of extra breathing room. But
I was thinking more Wrestle Dream, to be honest, just because that was obviously Cope's debut and
But
the
All Out
big
in
moments.
Toronto feels like
Yeah.
it's deliberate, like that's by design, and I think they've got something up their sleeve. But yeah, again, going back to the match, I think this should be fun. It should be a good little match. I think FTR will walk away the winners. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Nigel took the pin because obviously he's not a full-time wrestler, so it kind of maybe protects Garcia a little bit. But yeah, if it was up to me, I think Garcia would have been on the other side of the fence like months and months ago. I feel like I just don't. I just don't relate to him as much as I do like other baby faces on the roster. I think he's good in the ring, and he's a good hand, but
So weird because I must not be seen because I would put Daniel Garcia in my top 10 in the world.
wow.
I
What,
really
like
couldn't have
overall package, like outside the ring as well?
everything he does in the ring is exactly my style. It's like absolutely right up my street.
I love him. I love him in ring, but I just think
Not showing his-
I just
Ragnar
think
was not
character
showing
wise,
his
he's
best.
dead.
That's not him though. That's the bucket. But look at what he did with Brian. Like the work he was doing there, and that.
Yeah, but
and
that was
that's why
like
I wanna see
fucking
him-
2 years ago or
that's
something,
what's
wasn't
on
it?
He can do.
But
And
that's what I mean, though,
Greatest
that-
wrestlers of all time. I mean,
But that's what I mean, like-
I mean,
That's what I mean though. Like I feel like his character now, it just does nothing for me. So I feel like a heel turn would just give him a bit of a fresh kind of like coat of paint or something, just to, because in ring everyone knows he's one of the best in ring, but like you need a bit more than that, and I just there's just
We say
nothing
that,
there.
Like, playing devil's advocate, I do like Daniel Garcia, but again, he's someone who
I think I do.
I see him as a mid-carder kind of thing. I do see him as that. Like, when was the last exceptionally good Daniel Garcia match that anyone's got in their mind here?
last year at Revolution against Christian, for me personally.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that actually.
I can't think, to be honest.
You're talking over a year ago.
I mean, for me, I'm trying to think like matches where I was like genuinely like interested more in Garcia, not just as a wrestler, but as a character. But the work that I like, the little mini feud that he did with Christian Cage. But like I said, that's over a year ago, and I haven't like character
Everyone watch
wise.
him in Ring of Honor like the pure. That,
I mean, that seems
never
like
mind then.
ages.
No,
No,
but
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love the MJF. I thought the MJF match was great. I loved that. I thought that was really good. That was the last one, but I'm still thinking that's 7-8 months ago now.
Yeah.
I want him to turn in this match, but I feel like it's almost too obvious, and like I've said this before. I'm sure Bryan Danielson's going to be around soon, so I personally would love a turn. I would love them to beat the shit out of him, and I'd love maybe not now, but maybe for All In, Bryan Danielson to team up with Nigel McGuinness, and two guys that mutual respect for the years of wars they've had, and I think that'll just be poetic. But
I'll give you Brian and Nigel absolutely, but I think Danny Garcia should be included. Danny always wanted to go to Brian. I think I don't know. I think he did great in the JAS, but it was.
Well, maybe that's
where he
a
wanted to be.
good reason for his heel turn. Though maybe he wants to take out Bryan Danielson or something. I don't know. I just feel like he needs a bit more for me.
They've had him and Yuta doing sort of online beef and stuff about Brian, like Danny saying to Yuta, "You might have taken his moveset. I inherited his spirit." That sort of thing. I don't know.
Bryan Danielson on a pole
him-
match.
Brian Danielson on a pole.
Judy
Sorry.
Bagwell on a pole. Oh, she's dead now.
Judy-
Okay, Bryan Danielson on a pole match.
Judy Bagwell's
Jesus.
fucking dead. You're a right
Is she?
buzzkill, Andy. Well, he says it in every episode now.
Shit,
Reminding
all
us
right.
Judy
he's
Bagwell's
just being
dead.
consistent. Okay.
So,
Shall we move on to?
so not
this-
speaking of things you put people on, not forklifts, but
Yes,
stretchers.
Segue.
I'm
Fucking
so
well
good
done.
at these.
Well done, Dan.
I'm so good at these.
This is going to be incredible.
This could be the sleeper match. This could be.
Yeah.
Can someone
so
explain the
good.
rules of a stretcher match to someone who hasn't watched WWE in a while, please?
Well, hold on. Let me explain what they said on
Brett.
TV. This is exactly what they said. Excalibur said.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you got to put thank God it's not the worst case scenario that I thought it was gonna be. Like put him on the stretcher and push him across like the finish line, like we see in the past. No. You got to put him on the stretcher. You got to get him in the ambulance and close the door. So when you think they call it a stretcher match, but it's actually an ambulance match in a sense. But yeah, you got to put him on the stretcher. You got to get him in the ambulance and close the door. So that's basically the rules of the match. So obviously, no disqualification on that. But Mark, you were about to say sleeper. There ain't nothing sleep about this match. This match is gonna be a fucking banger from start to finish. I mean,
Ricochet's gonna near kill him. Ricochet is gonna near fucking kill him. It's gonna be brutal what Ricochet does to him. I think.
Yeah, he's
We're
gonna
gonna have
chuck
so
him off
much
something
sympathy for
absurd.
Mark Briscoe, but this is where it's gonna swing round. I think Ricochet's gonna win this, and he's gonna beat Briscoe to within an inch of his life. Ricochet is then going to beat Adam Cole for the TNT title, and then later this year, Briscoe's going to get that title off of Ricochet.
I'd go with that, because I think you need something to do with Briscoe. He's too good to just be floating around.
Way too good.
Like I mean, like it's it's an embarrassment of riches they have, but like he could be a top babyface for any company.
100%.
It's
Imagine him doing the open challenge for the TNT with the TNT.
I know
That'd
it'd be
fabulous.
wonderful, but he deserves it as well. Like after what he's
Yeah.
been through, but you know, for the longevity that he's had as well. But also, I think he reminds me a lot of like Mick Foley, like
yeah, no, he does.
100%.
that kind of role where you know I wouldn't be upset with him, you know, getting like a win over. I'm not like this, obviously, but something akin to it is him like beating Moxley for like 1 week or 2 weeks and then dropping it straight back. I wouldn't be opposed to that kind of thing. I know they probably won't do it, but again,
I
like
love it.
Briscoe's
That's probably
so popular
something-
enough that you could probably get away with it now.
That's probably
There's
something
too
that they
many
should have done a
people-
few months ago.
Yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
too
no,
many people in line now for the world title. When you look at when we're talking about Hangman, we're talking
It's
Swerve,
insane.
we're talking MJF again, we're talking Takeshi, we're talking Fletcher, we're talking Ospreay. You want to give Kenny another run.
Yeah.
You've got like 7 people bona fide that should have the title there. I would love. I've fantasy booked him winning the title in numerous different ways, but I do think that a good TNT title win against Ricochet will still be a real feel good moment.
Yeah.
Him doing open challenges every week for 2-3 months would be a lot of fun as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you could also do the same with Kyle Fletcher, but I think you need like a baby face to. Well, you need
I think Kyle's
Cole.
above the TNT.
Yeah,
right?
probably
I don't know.
right.
I
I
mean,
mean,
he
he's
does-
international to me.
He's up
but
there.
I think for where Kyle Fletcher is now, and like you said, where the title scene is right now, like Mark said, so many people at top.
Yeah.
That's the perfect spot, in my opinion, for Kyle Fletcher to start right there. Because not even just like with Kyle Fletcher, but you go back to the 90s in the WWF, like look at the Intercontinental title, like what it did for guys like Stone Cold, for The Rock, for Triple H. That the Intercontinental title was the litmus test right there. If you can win that title and you can basically hold that title like it is the big title, then that's the litmus test. If you pass with all flying colors, not just with great matches where we know Kyle can do in his sleep, but if he keeps improving on that character work, he keeps holding himself up like the biggest deal ever. Like, I don't know if you heard Ospreay said in an interview recently, he's not even at his prime. He said he's like 5 years.
He's 26.
26, 27 years old. He's 5 years away
ridiculous.
from his prime. Give him a decent run with the TNT title. That's the litmus test right there. And then whenever he loses it, that's his graduation in a sense, like up to the main event. He doesn't need the title right now because of how stacked it is right now. Like, let him continue to develop how he's done with Don Callis, like almost 8-9 months now with him. Like, I still love the whole shaving the head thing, and like it's been like from night and day from when he started a couple years ago to now. It's like, we all know he could go great in the ring, but I mean the transformation in his workout process, like he looks like $1 million. He's the total package already right now. So I mean, when he
I knew he could.
yeah.
I knew he could go in the ring, but I didn't know he was this good. I think he's improved in the ring immensely in the last 2 years. Probably being forced into having to, have a singles run. But I think the TNT title would be great for him. I think he would do a Christian with that TNT title. He'd probably end up making the TNT title feel more important than the Intercontinental title, to be honest.
He could do.
I feel like I feel like he genuinely could do that. This match is going to be incredible. Ricochet's on fire. He's probably he's probably the best heel in the business right now.
He's the best heel in the whole business right now.
His little bit on the tunnel yesterday, just when he was talking to himself, like congratulating himself, yet abusing the crowd. Everything he does at the moment, he's got such confidence, and you can see he knows exactly what his role is at the moment. He's thriving in it.
He's so good.
In the character.
Yeah, he's
I can't believe how much I look forward to seeing him on TV every week.
He is
amazing.
He's incredible.
He steals every show he's on. Did you all see what Swerve did on Instagram Live?
Yes.
Swerve
Yes,
was
I did.
recording a new song
Samantha Irving,
with Ricochet's wife.
with Samantha.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She's incredible. My God, what a voice she has got.
May-
Samantha Irving
may-
has the most beautiful voice, and Swerve has snapped her up to.
Maybe they go back to Swerve Ricochet down the line. I wouldn't say no
I
to
wouldn't be
that, to
opposed
be honest.
it.
There's legs in that for me.
Nowhere like anytime soon, but just real quick on couple quick things on Ricochet. Like, number one, I'm not joking when I say this. He's my wrestler of the year so far.
Yeah.
He is my wrestler.
He's
of
up
the
Yeah,
year.
he probably is, to
We
be
all
honest.
knew when he
Yes.
came into the company.
Outside of Hangman, yeah.
I mean, okay. Outside, there's a Hangman Alone award by himself, but everyone
Yeah.
else in that company, he is by far his heel turn is better than John Cena's. His heel turn
Yeah.
is
It's
not
flying.
fucking
That's not fucking hard, mate, to be honest.
Ricochet smokes John Cena.
And then listen, I know he hasn't said it on Twitter, but the whole Javon Evans 2,000 seat tweet has aged horribly. Like
He has
like
had so much
bad
self-control.
milk,
Ricochet, I would be a
because
petty bitch.
all I have to say, if you follow the ticket discourse with TNA and NXT having to cancel their show on Tuesday, the whole couldn't sell 2,000 tickets. You know, somewhere Ricochet had the biggest shit-eating grin, like the Grinch. Like he is a better man than me, because I would have done the biggest victory lap on Twitter after that shit. But oh my god, this guy is fucking amazing.
He didn't laugh at them or anything. He was a good
Our
boy.
bald king has ascended to heights he has never been to before. Like Ricochet, if you're watching this, my fellow bald brother,
The
man.
reverse Samson effect. You take your hair off and suddenly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Amazing.
So,
there's two people who aren't bald.
know.
Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter.
That was very good, Seg.
Oh,
Wow.
6
So
out of 10.
smooth.
6 out of 10.
Is this the first match that we're all in agreement of who we actually want to win here?
Because
Right.
it just makes too much
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes too much sense across the board.
They're then
Lucy?
going to go Mercedes Athena down the way. If not,
They
then
have
no.
to.
But yeah.
They have to.
might
I
be
just
an
had to make
idiot
sure.
here.
I just had to make sure with Lucy, because just make sure.
I've seen some
Just
some
commentary
fucking.
for the sake of it.
All right.
Well, most of the time, I've seen someone.
Occasionally.
I seen someone on Twitter saying the other day that it's quite clear that they don't want to do anything with Athena because she came in lost and then has been. But what are these watching?
She's on
It
Ring of
feels to
Honor.
me. It feels more obvious than
Ring of-
anything that Athena is actually going to be moving over to the main roster. I fucking hate that, to AEW full time at some point soon.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Things with
I
Athena.
know.
Insane,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So this year, this is why I don't think Ospreay's winning, because you got the hometown hero at Forbidden Door in Jamie and not Ospreay, because Ospreay's had it twice now in London.
But
Jamie's
I don't
only
think Jamie's
wrestled
taking it
in.
off Tony Storm.
I think she might do.
No,
I think she is, because I like we all like I said with Jamie pre-injury, we knew she was great in the ring, but like I said, the great thing about doing the Owens so early, having these sit down interviews, like we're getting a better grasp of her, who Jamie Hayter is as a person. Like they've talked about her back injury, her fighting back from that, and like now we're getting to know the person outside of the ring, even to greater depth. Like that's something we never really saw from Jamie Hayter the past couple of years, and now you have the perfect opponent, the perfect antagonist in Mercedes. Like, oh my god, this is. I know it was cool. It did make me a little nervous seeing Hayter hit the lariat on Mercedes, because normally that's bad news before a pay-per-view. But I just have a feeling, like, with how great both of them are, like the lariat that she's gonna hit Mercedes with, it's gonna be something that we have never seen. It's gonna be as innovative as fuck. Like,
It's gotta be like a top
it
rope
could be a
one or
moment
something.
that could steal the show.
or
And like we said,
springboard.
it's an obvious direction to go with Jamie Hayter winning. You get her and Tony Storm. I believe it would be the third match for the title at All In. You get Hayter Storm 3, and then, like we said, if you're paying attention, we know that it should be Mercedes and Athena, the rematch right there. I mean, it's all right there on a silver platter, unless you're a fucking angry little podcaster from Long Island, who's just a sad, miserable fuck who's losing thousands of viewers every year because your negative anti-AEW shtick is just wearing thin. Like, it's time for some new original
I don't know where anyone's
material.
from. Who are we shading? Someone message me,
I
please.
don't know. I didn't know that Willy
Just some
Wonka's,
fucking
chocolate
midget
factory was
little-
based
little
in
fucking
Long
twat.
Island.
Fucking Keebler elf.
Who
man.
anyone
Go back
is,
in the
I'm
tree
sorry.
and bake your fucking cookies.
I didn't know that the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory was based in Long Island.
I've been waiting for this match for 3 years. I said as soon as Mercedes was looking like she'd left the other place, I was like, please give me this. This is the dream match now that we have the ability to make it happen. It's finally going to happen. We had an unfortunate situation where Jamie Hayter should have had a moment at Wembley as the champion in front of a record wrestling paid crowd of all time. She didn't. I think she deserves this. I don't deserves get thrown around and people always have issues with, but I genuinely think she does deserve this.
Fuck that, they do deserve it.
She deserves this more than anybody, and her walking into the O2 as the champion and getting it's not Wembley, but getting the closest thing she can get to Wembley. Do it, just fucking do it. And I have the perfect. You say there's going to be a a special Hayter aid or something. I have envisioned this. This is what has to happen. Mercedes gets up for the moneymaker, but she spins off her back, and as she's got her, she spins her into a fucking lariat.
Awesome.
Do it. Make it happen.
I just played that in my head. It was fucking
Yeah.
beautiful.
I know. It is, isn't
Yeah.
it? This is.
We know that
Yeah.
Mercedes on pay-per-view she turns up. I mean, she turns up all the time because
She turns
she's
every
great.
time now. That's
She-
the thing.
But it's like the last few matches she's had with Momo and Julia have been like very, very good. Like the Julia match, I wasn't expecting much, but they still
That's one of
like
Julia's
really.
best choices.
That's one of
Julia's
She gives people the best matches they've ever had.
Exactly.
It's-
And we for a while
Relentlessly.
Jamie was in like every match Jamie was in for a while was like the best ones ever. And yeah, so these two are gonna like absolutely tear it down. Do you know what I would do? I would actually open the pay-per-view with this match because I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think because we know that Hangman Ospreay's main eventing because they kind of confirmed it, but I would actually sandwich the Owen finals start and the end, and then
I like it.
I'd have this start go 20 odd minutes, and then you got the middle, maybe go into like Nigel and Danny versus FTR straight afterwards or something, just to calm everything down a little bit.
20 to 25 minutes. Give me that, and give me a fucking
Let me
5-star
fancy.
fucking stiff match. And that, they both like to work stiff as well. Mercedes took against Momo. She took some horrible fucking shots.
yeah.
So
God,
just
yeah.
give it to me. This is gold. Feed me.
And I love that their promo segment, the boys behaved themselves. Hangman and Ospreay. I love that Mercedes and Jamie got a lot of time, but they just thumped each other. They're like, no, fuck that. We're not having a chat.
No,
Leave
Mercedes
that to the boys.
Mercedes laid Jamie out though. That
Yeah.
forearm,
I
looks
love that they got
thick as
physical.
Fuck, like God. Damn.
They have been the last couple of weeks though. It's like there's been a lot of focus on this, and it's
Just been chasing her around.
and like as we say as well, like logically, this will then set Mercedes off to then maybe be confronted by Athena again. Maybe Athena gets involved. I'd like a clean win, but I'd take whatever. Maybe Athena gets involved, and we then set off the two paths for, Jamie against the woman who she had to hand the title over to essentially when she was injured, and who took her spot, and Mercedes Athena. Texas, like two women's matches that could fucking main
makes
event
sense.
any pay-per-view.
It makes sense. But speaking of Toni Storm, obviously we know that who she's got next is Mina Shirakawa. This is as much theatre as it is wrestling, and honestly, it's just like fucking fabulous. I think Toni might be my wrestler of the year at the moment, like next to Ricochet, perhaps. And
Yeah,
apart from
I'd say
apart from
so.
Hangman, obviously Hangman has his own
Oh,
category,
yeah,
as we know.
that's
but-
just
Have
a
a little
fucking
award
given.
show. I'll put
But-
a tiara on the tracksuit. We'll do
But
it
no,
right.
Tony is she's just gold on TV all the time, and I think again you could argue foregone conclusion. I thought Mina's match with Julia on Dynamite was actually a good main event. I thought it was
I thought it
decent.
was really good. I thought it was a really good
But
match.
It feels weird.
Mina has the crowd there.
Her charisma is unmatched.
Every match.
It's-
You could see that on
Her
the
music as well, please, because that was
Yeah.
brilliant.
You could
Changed
see-
it.
Exactly.
you could see the first like 10 seconds Mina was on TV initially, like last year. She had everyone like immediately.
yeah.
It's one of them where if someone said she has to go to the fucking performance center to learn how to work TV, you'd punch him in the face 103 times.
Like Mina, that's the hard cam right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Stare in the hard cam for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And
No
then
one had to tell. No one had to tell her that. She had the champagne staring directly in that hard cam.
Yes.
It was class. No, she's amazing. I still think this is a foregone conclusion, but I have a renewed sense of hope that we might see a return of somebody, because
I think we're gonna.
that tweet before when someone was saying something and she says, "What, can't I have a holiday?"
Yeah, God forbid
It's
you want
like-
to take a vacation.
Like, and at the end of the day, everything she's posting has got AEW logos on it. Like, people, I think that actually is quite important, because like everything is a
think it
big
is.
fucking AEW logo splashed everywhere, or the AEW women's
Yeah, but
title.
they haven't mentioned her.
WWE won't like that.
But no, but she was in like the video package that they did not this week. This was been on Collision, I think it was, when Mina and Tony were like. They had
Good
the
point,
voiceovers.
actually. Yeah.
Mariah was in it. Like in the past, when someone was leaving, they'd cut them out of all the video packages, but Mariah's in there, and they didn't say her
It
by
seems to
name,
me-
but she is in there.
I don't think she's. I genuinely think. I think she comes down. I think probably after this match to console Mina. I think she basically says, Tony, nothing to do with you. It's not, I want to apologise to Mina. I don't know how it comes about, but I think that they're going to be. I think they're going to be the first women's tag champs. On Sean Ross Sapp said today on the press call. Sean actually asked him about tag titles, women's, and he said, "I'm not excited about it. It's something that we're definitely looking to do." I think they're going to do that for All In. I think the finals will be at All In, and I think it will probably be Stat and Willow against Mariah and Mina, and that'll be a fucking great match.
Yeah, for sure.
They're aligning so many teams now. We've got Megan Bain and Penelope. We've got Sky Blue back with Julia. We could potentially be getting Mariah back with Mina. We've got Willow and Stat that are always going to be intertwined.
I've got to back soon. We've got to get TJ back.
Well,
yeah,
Anna Jay's with Harley at the moment as well,
now,
so,
haven't you?
But yeah, this
I want Harley and Mercedes.
Yeah,
just
Harley.
No, I know.
But
There's so many.
You can't put
There's so
you
many.
can't put Mercedes in the tag title tournament knowing that she's going to be defending the title there. It's so predictable she's going to lose. Like, I wanted it. I agree, but I don't. I think Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. That's the way they've gone now. Looking at how they're going to have 8 teams. They're going to have 4 quarters, 2 semis, and the final All In. I feel I would bet money on that. If someone gave me some odds, I'd place a tenner on that.
And can I just interject real quick? Like we talked about Ty J coming back, like reunited, but Harley Cameron's there. What if Ty Conti comes back and like they're fighting? Her and Harley are fighting over Anna J to be their partner, and it's like Ty Conti versus Harley Cameron. That like with
Anna Jay on a
Anna
pole
J's
match.
fat ass on a forklift match. Like
Judy Bagwell is dead, so why not go with that on a poll?
Cameron versus Conti battle for the booty.
Wow.
Yes.
Gonna make you a
Very
Judy
good.
Bagwell bracelet,
Yes.
a memorial
The
bracelet.
funny thing is,
So,
Double or Nothing.
Alundra
The
Blaze
3 most
somewhere is
predictable
very,
matches.
very angry.
The 3 most predictable matches at Double or Nothing are the 3 title matches.
Yeah.
I think. And look, the thing is, I'm going to enjoy them all because one, I'm expecting Mariah May, and it'll be a good match anyway. I don't need to revisit the tag title match because I don't like getting ganged up on. I don't like being bullied. And what's the other title? The Continental title is going to be a shitload of fun. Just like, again, 15 minutes of a happy time, really. So we've got through that. I don't think the next match is predictable. I do think we see the Death Riders win, but we'll get to it. It's going to be big. It's going to be fucking mental. I don't know where they place on the card now. It's not ending the show. Intriguing, it's not ending the show. It means the ring's not going to get set on fire. I think the Death Riders will win. I don't know, but I think Eddie Kingston's coming back. But is Eddie Kingston going to go against the Death Riders?
If
I would
Gabe
love-
comes out
I
with
would-
the Death Riders.
So the thing
I
is,
would love
like,
him to team with them.
people were
fucking
talking about
love
this,
it.
about how Gabe, turned up at the end, and then they think, okay, well, he's not in the match, but he's clearly going to turn up and do something. The predictable role is obviously Eddie comes back to even the odds and get revenge on Gabe Kidd. But imagine if he then says,
them all up.
he says, do you know what? No, I won't fight Mox. I'll never fight Moxley. He said that several times. But to me, obviously, Mike would probably hate me if I told him that. But no, the thing is, I can't see him as a character ever aligning with Claudio. But at the same time, I've been proven wrong before. But either way, I think he's returning here. But equally, there's a few other returns that are popping off that could make sense. You got Jay White could pop in with like one good hand and cause a whole lot of chaos. Jack Perry's probably somewhere with in a blacksmith sort of location, whispering to a chair or something like that. Fucking Bryan Danielson could show up and start kicking people in the head because he's fucking Bryan Danielson. Like,
Imagine
there's
if
so many
Final
ways you can
Countdown
go.
just plays as they're fighting on the auxiliary card, which is
I think that could happen.
Yeah.
really.
I do. No, I think like he could be the one. I think Eddie could turn. I think Bryan Danielson could turn up in this match. I think they I don't think I still think they'd save that for All In if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
So if Danielson can fight, he comes back now to build to the match.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, whoever comes in like to help is not going to be on the match essentially, because I think that's the Gabe Kidd role. Gabe Kidd is just going to be some little twat who's interfering, who's not officially in the match, which is why whoever comes in, they're going to have a big role to do. Bryan Danielson.
It would main event. You don't bring Bryan Danielson back halfway through a show.
Well, I think it could be Orange Cassidy as well.
He's done his
Oh,
ACL.
okay.
mate.
There's so many people.
He's not ready to walk at the moment. I think he's done his ACL.
Is he that bad?
I think it's a pretty bad leg injury.
I didn't realise it was that bad.
I personally think for Double or Nothing, just the Eddie Kingston return in that match will suffice. I don't want it to be too much because, like I said, the next one is All In Texas. Like, in my opinion, if Danielson's going to come back for the main event to help fend off the Death Riders in that instance. Like Eddie Kingston should get the loudest pop. If anyone's returning, Eddie Kingston should get the lone, like, deafening pop in that arena. I would limit the return just to Eddie Kingston.
No, because I think the return to fight off the Death Riders is going to be Darby. I think he's going to be the one who starts the
lumberjack match.
Like, he's going to come back down from that hill, and then he's going to fucking start a fucking, you know, like, pushing against back against him. I think he could be the one, like, as I envision in the Hangman situation, where the Death Riders try and get involved, and Darby turns up and fights him off. So I feel like he's going to be the big surprise, the big return for All In, or, you know, providing he gets home okay.
And that's. Do you think that Blood and Guts will potentially be
So
after All In then? Because
Yeah.
that
So I
will
was
be the
looking
end
at
of the
this.
Death Rider story.
It has to be.
Yeah.
There's no Blood and Guts special between now and All In, unless they do it like at the pay-per-view, which I don't think so, because it's like you need like an hour to do the match. But
No,
Yeah,
they-
it's got to happen.
They won't do
afterwards.
the full show with 2 rings.
If they do it with as the end of the Death Riders, it will feel like it means something, because I think we all agree that last year's Blood and Guts, it was great, but it was just more like it was sandwiched in on a time slot, and it was like, oh, I guess we better do Blood and Guts. Whereas, like, I've always enjoyed it when Blood and Guts has been like the end of a blood feud. You know, like you did built up so much, like the MJF Jericho thing. You know, you had the Blackpool Combat Club, the Elite, and I feel like trying to finish off the Death Riders and a team consisting of everyone who the Death Riders has fucked over the last fucking 6 or 7 months would be fucking gold. And then finish them off, and then Mox can go and, like, you know, do what he wants for a while and come back as Stone Cold John Moxley, which is my favourite incarnation of him.
Yeah, no. it
So
should
where
be
do
good.
you not think this will be placed on the card? I think it might be I don't think it'll be the penultimate match. I think they'll probably do this,
Nah.
and then it could be the tag title match. and
Yeah,
then
that's a
maybe
good shout. That's a good shout,
That's
though.
what I
There's
think.
one
I
match
think
that I
do
know has been
Anarchy in the Arena
announced.
here, and then do
It depends
give
on-
them the breather match with the tag titles, and then do the main event. At
I was
the
gonna say,
Hangman
is-
Event.
There's a match we
Tony
don't
we are
know
getting
about
tonight
yet.
on Collision.
It's
Yeah.
totally
What-
crazy enough to lead off the show with the Anarchy in the arena.
Well, I was just going to say
It's
that.
crazy.
I did, but if
Tony
you have
kind of
that
loves
match,
good
Eddie
music
Kingston
to
and
start a
everything,
show.
There's too much of a
calm
risk
down.
as well to destroy, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they break the fucking ring or something with some of the shit they're going to be doing.
Well, I mean,
that-
they're not
that-
the main event, so there's that.
Yeah, I
risk
suppose, always a
regardless.
risk,
I
yeah.
mean,
What if
yeah.
what if Eddie does return and he squares up to John Moxley in the ring? They play this out like this. He's got a few of the AEW guys, you know, behind him, the Death Riders, and it looks like he's going to go for Mox, but obviously he's not going to go for Mox. He loves Mox, and he just turns round and fucking...
Oh, I mean, they were throwing each other through barbed wire tables like this.
Yeah,
not
but
that long ago.
he didn't want to touch Mox, though, if you remember then. He would go for everybody but Mox. There was a point when it was him and Mox, and he was like, no, not fucking doing it.
He will, but
And-
do you remember when
So
Eddie
his
first
social
came
media
in?
posts were by design.
No, when
Saying how he
Eddie
doesn't
first,
like AEW at the moment.
yeah, Eddie first came in, Mox battered some sense into him. That was the whole thing. Mox was like, I don't want to hurt you, but I will because I want my friend back. Eddie now has to do exactly the same thing and return the favour.
And
Beat the
think about this.
shit out of Mox.
He's been
I don't
sitting,
think
he's been sitting home for like almost a year now with the injury. I'm sure he's been paying attention to what's going on right now. So like, yeah, that's his friend, that's his family in a sense with Moxley, but I'm sure he's seen everything that he's done with the whole Death Riders thing. So like, even if it's against like his natural instinct, it's for he might do it for like it's for Mox's own good in a sense, like to take
Piss
him out
off
to beat
Claudio.
to just beat some sense out of him.
It is a
He
random
hurt
one.
his own feelings better than anyone. He's been sitting home seething about
Yeah.
Claudio, and now
It's
getting
a-
paid.
It's a shame Mike's not on, because what if the person that turns up to help them and even up the odds against, you know, a team with Gabe Kidd as an extra man is Kota Ibushi? Because he put a video up there, didn't he, yesterday on his,
Yeah.
he looks in fucking good shape, like.
That's all
He's
I
always
want. Now I'm
looking
going
good
to be
shape,
sad
though,
against
to be
anyone else.
fair.
Why did you say that, Andy?
What? But it could be like it genuinely could be, and like, you know,
Hopes are up here now. It's Ibushi, yeah.
it's like if Kenny's going to bring someone else into even the odds. I mean, like it was said, wasn't it, like before Christmas, that Kenny made it clear he wanted a run with Ibushi. So
Yes.
what
God
Kenny
love
wants,
us.
Kenny gets, I guess, you know.
Kenny should get what Kenny wants, if that's what
Kenny
Kenny
should
wants.
get what he wants.
Because that's what
That's
Lucy
it.
wants.
He should get what he wants, and apparently I've heard on, you know, good authority that what Kenny wants is Hangman to win the world title. So what Kenny
That's not
wants,
what
Kenny gets.
wants. No, Kenny said no.
I think we've probably done there, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot
We've
fucking
entertained
wait.
people for long enough. Oh, I was going to say, I think that, I mean, I haven't discussed it with you guys, but I'm definitely up for doing one, so we can just let everyone else know. About 10:30 Sunday evening, cheeky little Twitter space.
Yeah, I can do that, man.
Pre-show starts.
Yeah, it's bank
Possibly.
holiday on
I'll have to let you know, I'm afraid.
I'll have to
Oh,
let
it's
you know.
it's bank holiday as well.
It is.
Yeah.
It's on- yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like watching a pay-per-view on a Saturday. So
Yeah,
it's
I'll be up for that. Yeah.
The boys will be
anyone
there.
that's listening that wants in, 10:30. Brett, you're a lot better with technology and shit than me. You start it, so if you go to Brett's page and join it via there, and we'll probably, hopefully, all be there. And if you want to talk, just raise your hand and we'll let you talk. We're not egotistical. You can all join in. We're all friends here.
We are all
Yeah,
friends.
you don't have to pay either.
Yeah, we're not going to charge you $6.
Yeah, I did tell you about
We're
that
not
time when
gonna-
Britt Baker apologised to me. Oh, we should move on.
Yeah.
Let's send it home.
Anyway.
Fuck NXT Europe, fuck Eric Bischoff, and fuck JD from New York as well, just because.
Yes, sir.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
I know Bischoff, to be honest. He hasn't done anything wrong this week, but
For now.
Let's
It's
end on a
JD
positive
from New
note. It's a
York.
pay-per-view weekend.
I just
We'll
wanted to get it in
have
there
to-
because
These people we're
Mike
beefing
asked
with.
me to
Fuck
say,
the
Mike
Pacers.
asked me to say
Anyone.
fuck
I love
NXT Europe.
everyone.
Fuck the
But
Pacers,
Mike did
Knicks, and
ask me to
7.
say fuck NXT Europe, so
Yeah.
I'm just getting it in there.
I
Anyway,
agree
Why
with
not?
that one.
peace and
Bye,
love.
guys.
Alright,
Have a
guys.
good week. Enjoy
Have a
Double or
good one.
Nothing.
Peace.
Love you lots.
Cheer for Ospreay.